Hello, everybody. We are live. We're gonna go over a 3-year, retrospective on All Elite Wrestling for the past 3 years, since it's given enough time to critique. And I'm gonna say this right now: any form of art has the right to be critiqued, cause you display it to me. I've been critiquing Dynamite for the past 2 years. Even in 2020, I did weekly reviews. Now I don't do them anymore. Dynamite gives me no reason to watch weekly. And I'm going to explain in plenty of examples. This ain't going to be no top 10 list. This is going to be my own time, my own duration, and my own explanations. Why Dynamite is not anything that I want to keep watching weekly, bro. I use my money for Kyrie 8s. Even a guy that ain't shit personally still has a cool sneaker, I'm not gonna lie. But that's my time and money that I am willing to do for something that I enjoy for a long period of time. And I like going outside. I like touching grass. I like watching wrestling. I don't like watching elite wrestling. Because it's 3 years. And your magnum opus of ratings is a 1.5 still. Only getting a 1.4 early around this year. You'd think with getting Backwater WWE stars that are primarily mid-carders, not a perennial drawer in the main event scene like Punk was near a decade ago, or Miro that was feuding with John Cena but didn't become a perennial star and still relying over Sting, Chris Jericho, and Cody Rhodes, and still can't even draw a reasonable number because Tony Khan can't format a show. Tony Khan can't find a creative way to innovate stars like Jungle Boy, the Varsity Blondes, that's just literally the Hollywood Blondes with less personality. All because I guess they were former athletes. Jurassic Express making Penta and Pac look like a joke. CM Punk being entitled jobber. And Hangman being probably the most forgettable world champion. And now pushing over from, we'll do bi-weekly specials on TNT. So, you see, AEW. Look, over the past 3 years, I primarily go to the younger audience. Because younger audiences are going to be more impressionable. That's going to be still a cohesive, like, casual viewership. Because who's going to have the most time spent doing nothing and trying to watch television or anything? Children. Sometimes the older demographic is cool when you give them something episodic, but who are the people that are going to garner more of a fan base? Probably the younger demographic. And Dynamite can't even, kids want to get their older brother shit. That's how it is. Some people actually low-key want to look up to their older siblings, so they want more mature stuff. So going into that, AEW is not cool. And the fan base is hypocritical itself still over the past 3 years. They suspect that they're going to go in these ongoing arguments with sort of WWE fanboys, when the WWE fanboys themselves are begrudging casuals now, with majority of them being just hardcores in the standpoint. And even in AEW's best, they can't even succumb to WWE's worst, or beat them in that when they have, like, terrible 3-hour television. You can't even beat it with good 2-hour television. And bi-monthly pay-per-views. You guys don't do monthly. You guys don't even suspect, like, we need to do more onto the table to make sure that we draw more viewers. So why in the hell are you doing specials on television when you're a weekly program? That's bad. I don't get it. You already didn't even get your AEW jobbers like Jimmy Havoc, Kip Sabian. Like, nobody is over. And you still try to add more over to the echelon for the bare minimum of your fan base. And I've said this before, on multiple programs. I said this when I was in the Rant Squad. I said this when I was on Swerve Show's channel. Majority of times whenever talking about AEW, you guys are a glorified TV budget indie show with nothing of substance, making sure that I have to watch you weekly. And that's not obscurity or trying to be an anti-smart. It's facts. Because there's no way when you were on TNT, what airs primetime basketball and prime hockey and major TV shows, that you guys still get the bare minimum of viewership when it comes to somebody saying, "Oh, I'm gonna watch pro wrestling. I haven't seen wrestling on TNT since 2001. I wonder how it is." And nobody gets an eye. The most that the mainstream audience ever came out of an NBA playoff game, seeing Chris Jericho's pregnant ass before he took liposuction. You gotta be kidding me. You guys are a begrudged nerd fan base full of geeks. I'm seeing fucking signs of Kirby is better than Ocarina of Time. Why am I seeing that in a pro wrestling event? There is more, obscure nerd culture and something that's highly violent. Like, what made you think of seeing Hulk Hogan and you think of Super Mario Brothers? Like, I'm being dead ass. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't want to be associated with it. Look, I like video games too, but I don't want to think about a stereotype that's not notable for fighting and something that involves a lot of violence. It's not cool. Like C.W. Anderson, like all these guys are great workers. How come they're not getting over? So how come the AEW fans are not trying to promote most of the product? They're not showing matches that should be trending. They're not showing characters that are trending. And this is over the 3-year span right now. And they just proceeded as their own little effing niche. Like, it's not good. Like, I can tell, and majority of the fans going into this, and I'm about to, I'm gonna review over, whatever the fuck Wrestling Otaku went over trying to shame over WWE, all because most of these AEW fans are just spiteful ex-WWE fans. They don't even say shit to even improve their product, critique their product, spread the product around that they actually like to casual fans that haven't watched wrestling or just are not getting enough from the WWE product. What type of fan base is that? Who doesn't want to share anything they like with other people so they can get something to talk about? That's weird. And you know what's the sad part? I remember somebody was complaining, Cody Rhodes sold out. In what facet did he sold out when you guys were booing him off the stands when he was a babyface? And now you're saying he's sold out like you want him back for what? Well, maybe if he turned heel, you already were rejecting him anyway. He was struggling to get over into something that he was a part of creating. You fan bases are toxic pieces of shit. And I don't know what's more than just greed and borderline spite and just borderline nerd culture. And I don't want to associate with that. And just knowing, like, there's gonna be another weirdo nerd fat jobber that can probably do chops, tope suicida and a super kick and a Canadian destroyer, and they call him a good wrestler when he only sells t-shirts and he doesn't sell more people to something that was a backyard fed. How's that somebody that's good for a television audience? Explain that to me, AEW, and you still gotta sign Hurricane Helms, Christian Cage, Chris Jericho. Oh my god. There's like no center of a personality with AEW. What do you get with AEW? Well, they have Lucha Libre, Japanese strong style, technical wrestling. Like, you think there's no other fed that says that? Are you fucking kidding me? What dating profile is this? Is this saying that I'm a Libra? I like going out on hikes. I really like food, and I love art, and I watch anime. So, So she can get the desperation of the fat nerds or somebody to pay attention to her. Just like AEW does. A wrestling show has wrestling, no shit. What? Well, you think football doesn't have different types of styles of football played? Like, I don't know. West Coast style football, East Coast style football, Wildcat, highly motion football, fast pace, pocket driven, run focus. There's different types of style of football in a pro football American televised show. That's why they beat you every time they air on a Monday or any other day. Even a game against the worst NFL teams, like, I don't know, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans on Sunday Night Football, even though that's usually on a Thursday, just work with me here. It will draw then the best WWE pay-per-view other than WrestleMania. I'm being serious. Because at least in football, you get everything you need. Even though they're not stars. People with their families and friends will sit down, get some beer and food, and probably invite some family and friends over to watch a football game. You know only your friends from probably college or that watched the show with you before that will watch a wrestling pay-per-view. That's a major difference. We know how pop culture-wise pro wrestling has failed, and AEW is the reason why it is still dead. It's an example. And AEW has yet to even exceed their notion for a while for only improving with only like a 1.1 or something. Are you kidding me? The way that much wrestling is produced on television, nearly a declining medium, and you don't think a reason to watch television is like a new pro wrestling show, either the Monday Night Raw on primetime television, on TBS no less. You guys probably get lesser ratings than Modern Family reruns. That is depressing to me. I don't know how. Like, you have the Hardy Boys back, staying, CM Punk that hasn't wrestled in 7 years, Bryan Danielson, probably one of the most notable baby faces on WWE, and not knowing that they're not hot shit. And the most that this has going for them is probably crawling under half a decade. It already took under half a decade for you guys to even screw up a TNT deal. For hockey to beat you guys. And guess what? What's gonna die harder is when playoffs come. Because guess what's starting in a few weeks? NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs. And even if baseball doesn't make much of a difference, people are going to be talking on news channels, ESPN, on the internet. They're going to be talking about what are the Yankees doing, what are the New York Knicks or Lakers going to do. And there's just more exciting shows out there that people are going to... Even anime has more exciting shows out there for people to at least just watch. You're going to be seeing more regular American casuals watch anime than professional wrestling, something that's been on TV for decades. That's a sad thought to just bring up, and more of you guys just being the niche, uninclusive, just niche culture of why professional wrestling sucks just makes me feel more happy that I don't always have to do this every time I go on this channel, and I have to be like, Raw sucks, SmackDown was in AEW, I'm not going to watch the last episode back. I'm not! Because there's a lot of problems with AEW as well. Every goddamn week, the episode doesn't feel memorable. I'm not saying that you have to be Attitude Era, but it makes me feel like I want to watch back your episode. That's a major reason why people watch Attitude Era or old Monday Night Raw or Nitro or ECW. Hell, even TNA. They had rewatchability. They had characters that I would go back and watch. They had segments that I would go back and watch. AEW just has matches that some people somewhat remember. They don't remember the specific spots. They don't remember what got the crowd really loving it. Like, I remember Kazarian hitting, I think, Sanjay Dutt when he was stuck on the Ultimate X with a cutter, and the fans were going crazy. Or that time Samoa Joe got a surprise assault from Kurt Angle after he first debuted after leaving WWE. That was crazy. That what drew TNA and made it one of at least the most notable notable wrestling, like a wrestling event. It's like if you can tell a WWE fan what TNA is, just imagine telling a new WWE fan what AEW is. Because they're not going to watch it when they have the spare time of seeing that they can watch all their old stuff back for like $5. And more popular people are on Monday Night Raw anyway. So why would you waste time with AEW? And just knowing, like, I have to go through all... Still, they're explaining me that, like, I have to go through all these, like, sub-content to get to the major content of a televised primetime show with two major shows on TV like Dynamite and Rampage. Why do I have to watch Being the Elite? Do I have to go to Breaking Bad's YouTube channel to go over what happened to Skyler or Jesse last time on the last 2 episodes that I missed? No, I want to rewatch them. Because Breaking Bad is that good of a show. What makes AEW has that type of explanation? I'm trying to understand. Because it seems like certain AEW fans or certain wrestling fans just don't. And they're just doing this to feel like this is going to be a cool part of wrestling when you're trying to make this more of a toxic genre as it is. But that's just me. Maybe your opinions are way different. And let's just keep it simple. Majority of you guys even watching the current product already watched the product and you guys are coming back from it. It's not because the casual fan just said, I wonder how pro wrestling is and I want to go back and watch it every week. No, it's going to be us that probably already watched it before. So just remember that when you're talking about just how much pro wrestling is getting better than how it was in the 90s, where people would rather watch WrestleMania than the Super Bowl. So that's it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed this retrospective, because it seems like AEW won't probably get blocked anyway because of hate speech or cyberbullying, because somehow me having my own opinion or making a joke or doing anything is a sign of people don't need to hear it. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all type of reputation that YouTube has. So that's what I have. That's my opinion. Thanks for watching the DST show. Like, comment, subscribe, and we have the right of free speech. That's it for me.